Okay, so in our previous class, we learn about cross-site scripting, like its introduction and its type, what are the types of cross-site scripting. So let's begin with this room, and within this room, we'll get to know about blind XSS and how to make your own payload. Like what are the things you'll be requiring for customizing your payload or making your own payload, and then we'll see a practical example of blind access. Okay, so what is blind access? As I already told you about blind access, that it is an access category vulnerability, basically which happens in a backend side, like which you can't see from a front end side, or you could say on the channel you're working on, right? So, uh, what is channel? You might think, okay, what is channel? So, channel is like something which I'm working on. Like this is my screen, so this is called my channel. I'm working on this channel. Like this is okay. So this is my channel, and so let's take an example. Uh, where could you find blind accesses? You can find it on contact page, or you could say feedback page, or somewhere where the data is getting stored on the backend side or on the database. Okay, so this is the thing, and there is one more tool, XSS Hunter Express, which is written on JavaScript. Okay, to find out blind accesses. So how can you find it out? Just simply let's continue with this machine first, and we move to perfecting a payload. So let's take a look at this example. Like what is the example given within this lab? So there is one text area, and text area is something where you can type your some sort of paragraph or something like that. Okay, and okay, support ticket. I think we need to log in into someone's account, or might be that we need to create our own account. Then there is one text area where we can submit something. Okay, got. But before moving to exploration of blind accesses, I wanted to teach you one more thing with an XSS. Okay, so let's say you're working on a real life website. So how could you identify whether that website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting or XSS, right? So the very first thing what you need to look for is a input parameter, whether it is an URL or any search parameter or login page, sign up page, register page, okay, feedback, contact, or any kind of page where you can input any kind of text or a string. Okay, so this is what we need to look for. Now, once you got a input parameter, then you need to enter a random text or whatever you wanted to write. You can. So once you write it down, just search for it. Like if you're testing for search parameter, so what you need to do is basically just type a random. Let's say I typed my name, Raj, and once I click on search, so if it is representing somewhere within the source code, then the chances are high that it is vulnerable. But we are not sure that it is 100% vulnerable. Okay, we are only sure that about you could say 50 to 60% that it is vulnerable. So this is the first thing what we need. This is the first thing what we need to look for, and the next thing is key. Just look for the text where the text is getting reflected within the source code, and once you identify like it is, if it is reflected in any kind of tag, let's say paragraph, anchor, meta, input, or and anyway, the chances are high that you need to break those tags in order to uh, you know execute your code, GS code. Why we need to break those codes? Because let's take an example. let's say input. There is an input, and let's say type equals to, let me define it as normal text, and the value, whatever the value you are searching, okay, or let name equals to search query. Okay, this is a search query. So whatever you have searched for would be reflecting over here. Okay, let's say I searched for hello. Okay, so this is a thing. Or wait, just give me a minute. Okay, got it. Let me show you with an example. So this is my, a basic code. I have made this, basic search parameter, like a basic access vulnerable page. Okay, within a search query, you have to look for, anything. Like you can type a name or something like that. If I say Rudra and search, so it told me you search for Rudra, right? And the query parameter is getting reflected over here. So what you need to do is to look for the code, and this is a basic code, right? So it is a very simple code. If you know about JS, then you'll definitely know about this code. What is this code is doing, right? So there is one function which is getting the query parameter known as name, and I made a constant variable as a URL parameter. That means it is getting whatever we are searching for within the URL. Okay, like whatever I will search for will reflect it on a URL. Okay, so as you can see, I've used URL search parameter function within this, you would say attribute, not a proper attribute, element, and return URL params dot get as name. Okay, so the next is display search term. That means whatever I will search for, it will getting reflected within this page also, as you can see over here, right? So this is a code which is reflecting whatever I'm searching for. The search for term, whatever I search for it. Okay, so Windows onload. Windows onload is an event handler. Okay, yeah, got it. This is not an attribute or not a, you could say an element. It is an event handler. Okay, so Windows.onload, it is also basically event handler, which happens whenever you perform a certain task. Depends what kind of event handler you have been using within your source code. Okay, so I've created one function, const query, same, whatever you're getting over here. Okay, const query parameter, get query parameter as query, like whatever I will change it over here, it is going to change over here also. Okay, and there is one condition, if query document get given by ID search input, like I'm getting it from over here, search input over here. This is an input, okay, whatever I'm searching for it. So I'm gripping it by the, element from here, dot value equals to query, and whatever I will search, it will get stored within this thing and equals to query. That means whatever I will search for it, it will redirect to that thing into query, and it will getting reflected over here. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, as you can see, function perform search. So this function basically returns for performing a search, and const query document get given by ID search input same as it is. Okay, Windows history push stage. Now, if you don't know about all these things, you can Google it. Okay, you don't need to worry about for the advanced stuff. So if you don't know about, then you can search for it. Okay, and question mark query equals to encoded URL component will. That means whatever I'm, searching, it will getting reflected after this parameter display search term will, and it is reflecting whatever I'm searching for. And no result found prior different search term. Okay, so it is just for an, let's say a demonstration. So what I need to do is to break break this tag. How I can break this tag is go on the source code and get over here as input where you are you know inputting the query. So it is ending with this. So we need to copy this thing and paste it over here. Now let's search for hello search. So you might think it is not broken or something like that. Okay. So if you're able to get it as a value, it is getting stored on a value, then only you can able to break it. But if it is, you could say uh, getting through DOM, which is like this is a JS code. Okay, so it is a DOM reflected XSS. Okay, which happens when there is a DOM running within the source code, but on this same time, it is also getting reflected for once. So it is a DOM reflected XSS, just like stored reflected, DOM reflected, blind, universal XSS, and there are a lot of category within the XSS. So it is a DOM reflected. That's why it is not, breaking the tag. So, but also you can search for the tags, like whatever the tag you're typing. Script. Now you click on search, it won't reflect anything. Why? Because it is, you know, you would say the script tags are prohibited within the source code over here. Okay, for this thing. And we, in order to bypass this thing, we have multiple tags. Let's say you can check it out by SVG. Okay, SVG onload equals to alert. So I've used one event handler within this payload. So I'll get back on this topic, like what is event handler and how you can learn about event handlers. But for now, just understand the concept. So if I search for it, it is saying okay, it is still not working. The payload is getting executed, but might be the alert function is causing issue. So you can change it to prompt and search for it once again, but still no result. So then you need to change the payload once again. You can try the body tag. Okay, body tag on load equals to one. Search, nothing happens. So let's try with the image one. On load equals to alert and if it's search. So as you can see, the image is getting generated, right? The image is getting generated, but the main thing is that the code, our event handler is not getting triggered. So let's try with the, on click search, and if I click on this particular image, the event handler got triggered. So this is what you need to understand how you can develop your own payload by just analyzing the source code and analyzing the scenario where you are playing around within the web application. Okay, so then like in today's class, we get to know about all these things, and I'll also explain all the event handlers with a practical example. So don't worry about that. So this is the thing you need to break out within this tag. So I'll also provide you a task within a reflected XSS where you have to break out the track where you need to break out the tags. Then only you can able to find out the XSS. And also there are web application firewall also implemented on that particular website. But you don't have to worry about that thing. I'll teach you about bypassing WAF. Let me close it. Okay, so we got the IP, hit enter. Okay, now as you can see, this is the demonstration application. So we need to log in into our account. If you don't have any account, then just create an account. Let's say hacker. Let me zoom in a little bit. And an email address hacker@gmail.com. The password hacker@123. Uh, hacker@123 and perfect. Now we need to sign it up. Now, as you can see, we are getting it on the dashboard page. So now let's analyze from where we can able to get a blind access. Okay, you need to look for something which is getting stored on a backend side, not a front end side. Okay, so support tickets. Okay, your account hacker. So you can't find out the blind access within this page because it is getting reflected within a client side. And the next is logout. So might be in a dashboard. No, there is nothing. Might be on a ticket. So let's try to create a ticket. And as you can see, ticket subject. Okay, now we're getting it. So let's say if I say testing for XSS. Okay, and hello there, create a ticket. As you can see, the ticket ID is 8. Status open, like they open up our ticket and the content is subject. Okay, so as you can see, testing for access and so on, and hello there, the text we have searched for. So now we need to look for it. Okay, we need to break this tag to perform a access. Right. So as you can see, key over here it is uh, teaching you how you can break out these tags within like there's a tag as text area. So you need to break out this tag in order to get an access, and simply you just need to do this. Why? Because in order to break any tag, you have to analyze this tag like okay, how is that tag are getting ended? So as you can see, it is getting ended by slash text area. So let's try this text area. Hello there. Okay, so this is a thing. Okay, okay, no, not over here. You don't need to do this over here. You have to do this when support tickets, create a ticket. Hello, this, hello there, create a ticket. And as you can see, let's go to this ticket. And as you can see, the tag got broken. Now, if you analyze the source code, as you can see, it is, out of the text area. The text area is getting ended before the query, whatever we have searched for or whatever we have inputted, right? So this is what we exactly wanted to do within the application in order to get an access. So now let's go. So now, either you try to fetch out, some cookies or some secret tokens or something which can let you know that this is a blind access. From backend side, you need to send a request to your own server, right? So let's do this with the help of cookie stealing technique. So if you don't know about how to steal those cookies, so there is one payload given over here, this. So let me explain you this payload, like what is the work of this payload. So the text area, like tag which we are closing it so that we can break out this tag. Now the next thing is script. So obviously, like writing any malicious JavaScript requires a script tags. One is opening script tag and the last one is closing script tags. And within these script tags, only you can able to write down the code which is required. So if I just say oh, I'll be using Python server and Netcat server both because we don't know, like, right? Okay, just give me a minute. Oh, got it. Right. Sorry. So the fetch function is basically, used for sending a request. And batao, as you have seen, if you use batao, that means you are encoding the cookies into base64 or whatever the or whatever the string passed over here or the event handler passed over here. So the element would be encoded in a base64 format. So So let's copy this payload and one more thing, you need to change the IP and port. So I'll utilizing Python server. It, oh, so we need to change it as it and the port 8080 slash question mark. Okay, answer. Right, we got it. So let's copy this payload and paste it over here. Create ticket and it is open. Let's say so we are not able to, see the payload, but if you see the source code, the payload is getting stored within here. So you might think that this payload is getting on a client side, then might be it is a stored access, but it is not. Why it is blind access? Because this particular code is getting stored in a backend also. Then once the admin user open up the ticket, then we get a request from the admin user. So as you can see, now we got it. We got the cookie, right? As you can see. So if I just say copy this cookie and decode this particular cookie, and you will get it session this. If I copy this thing and right click, inspect, storage, paste it, and save it. And once you save this, you can refresh the page. Okay. So now, as you can see, you'll get logged into that particular user's account. So you might think, key, why haven't logged into someone else's account? To see, so this is my own account. Because only we have opened up the particular, you know, ticket once admin user will open the particular ticket, you'll get session token of an admin user. Okay, so this is what basically blind access looks like, that it needs to get triggered from a backend side, but it is a stored blind, you could say, because it is getting stored also, but on the other hand, it is a blind also, because whenever a user will open it, so they'll get it. You'll get the cookies of that particular user. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we got it, and as you can see, one more time we got the same cookie because we, we revisited the support tickets. That's why. So this is the thing, and now let's move to the learning about perfecting your payload. So, well, perfecting a payload requires some of the things, that how you can break out those tags, and using different kinds of event handlers and so on. So let's first complete this row. So this is a level one, and it is telling you to enter your name. If you enter your name, then it will reflect the name as Hello Adam, or whatever the name you have provided within the text user input. So it is getting stored within the extra tag. So you can just simply provide the text script tags. Okay, so it will get executed directly. So the next is level two. Like previous level, you're being asked again to enter your name. This time when you click your name getting reflected in an input tag instead. So as you can see, whenever you search your name or enter your name, it is getting reflected within the input tags. So you need to break out those tags simply, as it is ending slash or double quotation and smaller than. Okay, as you can see. Then level 3, text area simply, as we have did this within this row. Okay, how to bypass this text area. Level 4, document get element by ID class name, but one. Okay. So you need to close this tag single quote and close it. As we know, within the JavaScript, whenever you end up a line, you have to put a semicolon so that the compiler would know that the code is getting ended over here. That's the thing what we're doing over here. We'll close it. Okay. Same, and perform the alert only. We only use alert, because script tags are already given over here, and simply same colon and slash slash to basically uh, comment out all the things. Now level 5, yes, level 5 is basically for as you can see, it is getting triggered that script tag is being used, so you need to utilize some of the encoding technique, you could say, or double tags technique. So this is a thing, like this is what a double tag technique looks like. And level 6 is basically image source script alert. Okay, so this is what, okay, level 6. Okay. So within the level 6, whenever you type a script or something like that, it is getting stored in an image tag. So I'll also teach you how to break image tag also. And this is a polyglot, and I'll also teach you what is a polyglot, you know. polyglot payload. So let's go to the machine. Simply, we are getting the level one, and let's say run, hit enter. So let me confirming it is payload. Oh, we got it. So simply, this we can type script one. Okay, we got it. So now let's move to level two. You don't have access. Okay, what we need to do in order to get into next level? Okay,
One, can I ask one question? In here, sorry to interrupt. Like, do
yeah.
we? How will you find that there is which database is getting, like, if you run a script on the other side of the website, like for example, you are trying to inject a SQL, trying to inject an SQL through a script. You are doing at the backend end. Like, how would you do that? Like, using this blind script method, is that possible to inject anything into the database?
No, like you need to look for the parameter which are getting stored in a database. Then only you have to inject that payload in that particular, parameter to make it store in a database.
Because I have seen such incident. Like, I'm explaining this with a clear example. Like, I have seen this in my previous company. I used to monitor this cross-site scripting activities. Like, I used to find few parameters being forged. Like, it will be like changing the parameter or something, adding into the parameter. Like, they are trying to do that. But what firewall does it, firewall is blocking that event. Particularly, I found few parameters entering into the database. That's why I'm asking, like, is there any way to trick that website to enter information into the database?
No, you can't unless and until that particular parameter is getting stored in a database. It's like, okay,
It's okay. I got it. Like a cookie, using a cookie, people can manipulate, right?
yeah, you would say,
Okay. Thanks.
okay. Now next, okay, so we need to identify like what kind of payload we need to enter. So it will, let us to move into the next payload. Okay, we need to enter THN. Let's see. Oh, access payload successful. Wait, I wanted to do something in this code. Okay, so let's move to the level 2, and within this level, let's try to enter our name, confirming payload. Okay, got it. Simply, it is, putting the name into an input tag. So in order to break those tags, we have to do this simple trick. Okay, level 3.
Have you tried inserting these payloads in any real-time websites?
Yes,
Like, that's have you tried these methods in anywhere? Like,
yes, yes.
in terms of companies, usually what companies does is we have tested XSS vulnerability in my past company. Like, we used to test it using environ parameters. Like, that is what I'm asking. Have you done any real-time such things?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you
I have
show?
did. Sorry.
Can you show some demo or like that?
Sure, why not? Now we managed to bypass, or you could say escape the tag or break broke the tag. Now we need to enter our payload.
I think that page don't have any vulnerability.
It is like it has, it's in front of you.
Okay, it has that.
And
Can you try inserting any other parameter in that?
let's say the input one, no.
But most of the
Mhm.
companies now doing input validation. So earlier there is no input validation. Nowadays, input validation is also exist. If there is a improper input sort present, it creates a vulnerability which leads to cross-site scripting.
Then you can use encoding such as HTML encoding. If they are just checking those tags, if those tags are getting used or something like that, then you can bypass those things.
Understood. Anyway, thanks for the help. Thanks for the demo.
You know, to them. Okay, now let's say hello. Okay, what happens? Hello, hello. Wait. Uh, oh, okay. Now as you can see, it is getting reflected over here. Just simply do this thing. Load PHM. Why it's taking so long? Okay, too long. Why? Simple, but See what happened. Okay, just let it be. I don't know what's the issue, why it is not confirming the payload. Let's say L5. Okay, so this is the thing, and within the next level, it is getting, it is removing the script from these tags. So in order to bypass these things, we can, use double script. Like once they remove this thing, okay, let me explain this script. So once they'll, remove this particular script when they see remove and remove. So again, our original payload will get executed within the application. Okay, so this is the thing. And see, okay. Now next thing is image tag. Okay, and whatever the user entity provides, it is getting stored in the image tag. So let's say, okay, you are typing whatever, it is getting in store source. Yes, it is getting in source. So whatever the user input you are providing, it is getting over here. Let's say if I type error, so it will get reflected over here. So in order to bypass this particular thing, what we have to do is to just provide any random value. Okay, let's say with and put a double quotation over here. Then type on, click or whatever event handler you would like to use, you can. Okay, and simple, your payload is completed. So this is your payload. Will look like something. This is well, it uses download. So if this particular payload doesn't work, then try to put double quotation within this, just like this, this. Okay, that's then it will work. And you can also define any path or source path, but rather than defining any image path, I just decided to put a string. Okay, rather than defining any specific path. So this is the thing. Now, what is polyglot? So polyglot is basically a payload which is, you could say, a six-level payload. You could say it is a combination of multiple payloads. Let's say it will execute very first. It will execute this particular payload. Okay, this. Then the next would be title text areas script, something like this. Next is this. Okay, so polyglot is basically used to bypass the web application firewall in order to uh, confuse the WAF that what payload you are using actually, but the real payload is this one over here. Okay, the SVG onload alert PH, and we are using random characters for commenting things, random URL encoded data, and random tags. Okay, and simple. Why we are using this? To manipulate the web application firewall. Okay, this is the thing. So we completed about the XSS and we see how you can see out the cookies. Okay, so there are a lot of things which you can do with the help of XSS. It's like, you know, stealing cookies, stealing secret tokens, uh, performing phishing, and so on. There are a lot of things which you can do. So if you have any doubt regarding cross-site scripting, so you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll start with the event handlers. So now, if anyone having any doubt, no. Okay. Okay. So now let's see an example within this row. Let me just remove it. Oh, so okay, wait. Obsidian is a okay, event handler. So here are some of the event handlers which particularly I use when I'm creating any, payload for XSS. So now we can see key. It is saying that on event handler, the very first thing, okay, on error. So this basically used whenever there is any sort of error, not only just within the image, you can also use it within the, any other tag, okay, which you think could cause an error if that payload doesn't get complete or their attribute doesn't get completed. Okay, then the next thing is on load. So let's take an example of on error first. Search. Now as you can see, it is getting affected directly without clicking on it or something like that. Why? Because basically on error, it's check for the error. If there is any error while opening this image, then uh, yes, once the image got triggered, then this event handler will, get executed and simple happens. And next is onload. Onload means whenever you are loading something, okay, uh, that could be anything. So let's take an example. Body, body onload. If I search, but it will not work within this page, or I specifically need for the image tag. Okay, so let's say when I search for it, it will it won't show you any pop-up because it said on load. Whenever the image will get load, it will execute the payload. Okay, so let's try to get an image from Pinterest. Image Yeah, perfect. Oh, you got it. Now let's try to load it. Now, as you can see, once the image got loaded, the payload got triggered. As you can see, right? Now, next is on click. On click event handler basically happens when you click on that particular thing. If, let's say, I created an image tag and if I say search and it won't execute until unless I click on it. So once I click on it, it will get executed. Okay, so this is what basically happens when you utilize on-click event handler. The next is on mouse over. On mouse over is a basically hover event. Basically, when you you know put your mouse closer to that image, then it will get executed. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so I won't click anything. Just I'll try to drag my mouse on the particular broken image, and let's see what happens. And as you can see, whenever I'll you know put my mouse over here, it will execute that particular. See, right? So this is what happens when you use on mouse over. Next is on focus. On focus basically, would be best within the input when you utilize autofocus. Okay, as I've shared the payload also here for specifically input, we are focusing on that particular thing, and that's why. But you can try to use it, okay, but it will not go within the image because there is no autofocus within this particular thing. That's why it's better to use it with the input tag or some other tag. It would be best with the input tag and okay. So almost enter means there is an area specified by this event handler. Whenever your mouse will get within that particular area, it will get executed. Okay, as you can see, right? If you utilize it with a div, then it will create a div, and the area of div, whenever you put your mouse arrow closer to that area of div, it will get executed. Okay, let me show you. Okay, wait. Mm, 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 mm. Why it is not working? Okay, let's see. Let me input. Now, as you can see, once I provided an input tag inside a div, then once I, came, came in a range of input text box, this happens like the payload got triggered. Okay, then on blur, well, on blur is basically when the event, uh, this event handler is used when an element loses its focus. Let's say when you try to remove the focus from any, thing. Let's take an example of input. Okay. So now, as you can see, once I put my focus within this area, and once I remove it from the you know my focus, the payload will get triggered. Okay, this is what happens on the on blur event handler. Then next is on key down. It is basically something when you click a particular key or something like that. So let me show you if directly I will show. Okay. So this is a payload, and once I click any key, okay, see, I'm typing enter, uh, backspace, okay, the character got removed. Once I type R, it get triggered, okay, the R got typed. So this is what basically on key down on key down event handler do. Next is on cut. Cut is basically when you shortcut key control X when you cut it, something like that. So copy, paste, and hit enter. So it is saying cut me, or you can also type uh, try to put out search. Once you type control X, it will get triggered. Okay, so this is what happens when you use on cut. The next is on double click. That means whenever you double click on specific things, it will get executed. Straight search rather than double click. It is saying double click. So once I double click on that double click text, the payload get executed right after the double click. Okay, as you can see, right. This is the thing. So it won't get executed if I click it in a single time, or if I click double, if I perform double click, but in a interval of time one and two, nothing happens. One, two, nothing happens. And if I type it rapidly, as you can see, double click, right? So this is all the event handlers which I use specifically, and there are a lot of event handlers. You just have to go to the search for JavaScript. No, go to the same page. Oh, all event handlers, as you can see over here. There are a lot of event handlers, but these are the event handlers which I specify specifically learn about, okay, like we have the event handlers, but we can utilize all of these according to your scenarios and the website depends, okay, like what payload you are using and so on. But still, if you wanted to make a payload with the help of this tag, anchor tag, and with the help of on click, okay, so the payload will get a payload. So just copy out the payload and paste it over here. As you can see, test. If once I click it, the payload will get executed. Okay, so this is how it happens. Let's say I wanted to use it with the key, and let's say on copy. It is also the same as cut. Just need to type Control C, insert, search, and as you can see, if I say Control C, it will get executed, and the payload got copied, or the text got copied, whatever you have copied from that text. So this is basically a event handlers look like. And in order to be good in developing payload, you need to learn about different kinds of HTML tags and event handlers. So now, if you have any doubt regarding this, so you can ask me like regarding access if you have any doubt. What about others?
Yes, sir. Understood. I
Okay,
have one question here. If
yes.
we do XSS attack on any website, then the owner of website, how can he able to find us? If I do execute any kind of code and anything.
Prasad, nowadays mostly firewall track these. Sorry, nowadays mostly firewall track these events. Like it will come under access scripting. Like the main basic details will contain log information. Like for example, the IP address which is involved in such event, and from the source and from the destination. In Qualys and Nexus, usually if you try to scan an IP using XSS vulnerability, you can able
And
to
what if
see
I'm
these.
using VPN then?
Even VPN also the same. The VPN source IP, like for example, the IP which you are currently holding will not be displayed. The VPN IP will be displayed.
Mm.
Have
Okay,
you got my point? Or Rudra, you can also explain.
no, it's fine. That's the same thing, and I was going to explain it.
And if I'm hosting a website and anyone tries to do this type of thing, even I'm getting IP, but it's he's using VPN, then is there any convenient method so get his original IP like that?
For that, I think you need to implement an honeypot server. Then it will be possible. Honeypot server
No,
usually
like
grabs the original IP.
not exactly. Honeypot so doesn't grab your original IP. It just mimic as a real life server. So the attacker uh, if things is attacking from a real server and so on. But if an attacker is using VPN, then still you'll get the VPN's IP. If you wanted to find out real IP, then either that particular VPN should be using P2P, uh, for communicating or sharing the data, or either there is a DNS leak.
Okay, 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 understood. This is basically
Yes,
directly connecting to my original device IP, not virtual VPN.
exactly.
Even I'm using Tor browser or any other tool.
Sorry,
Even I'm using Tor browser. Still, he is able to. That website is able to track me.
not exactly until and unless that particular person has an access to the exit node and starting node.
Okay, okay, get it now. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So this is the thing, and now let's talk about bypassing firewall and how you can bypass the firewall. So there are multiple ways, but which I utilize the HTML entity encoding. That means encoding the characters as an HTML string obfuscations, okay, or what you would say, obfuscate the strings or the functions, just like malicious functions like alert, script, prompt, eval, those kind of JavaScript codes. Okay. Okay. Next is alternative tags and attributes. That means if you're trying a single tags only, then might be possibility you should try some other tags in order to bypass that particular firewall. Because uh, within the firewall rules, they have already predefined that the attacker try to utilize this particular firewall. Sorry, this particular tag. So whenever you see a traffic which include these tags, and that will block those requests. Okay. So the live example for this is the House of Mouth. Okay. Hmm. See, once I utilize strict tag, it will block me. Hmm. Search result. As you can see, 403 forbidden. And if you look for like what kind of firewall it is utilizing, so it is using most probably Cloudflare, okay, for their security purpose. So now once we got it, like strip tag is getting blocked. So if I try to execute any other, let's say, okay, if I type a On click alert, click me, hit enter. Now as you can see, we managed to bypass it. Okay, now let's try to, click on this particular link and see what happens. And as you can see, the payload got triggered. So this is how you can bypass the firewall. It's one of the technique. JavaScript protocol usage. You can utilize JavaScript protocol. Mostly we utilize it with the href source or within those attributes. Let's say if you're utilizing image tag, JavaScript, JavaScript. Let's try to get it. Let's see whether it is working or not. Not really. It is working within the image. But if we utilize the anchor tag, anchor on play, let's see, href equals to JavaScript alert 1. Hit enter, and once I click on this particular thing, uh, once I click it, it will execute the alert. When it is event handler abuse, that means, sorry guys, that means by utilizing JavaScript protocol. Let's we already did this. Okay, the next is event handler abuse. That means try to use different kinds of event handlers and so on, so that you can get away out. So which one is working perfectly? Some of the times event handler does get triggered by the WAF. So these are the techniques which you can utilize for these, and some of the like encoding mismatch. Try to encode it as UTF-8, UTF-16, URL encoding, HTML encoding, and uncommon time. Okay, these are the things. Is there something else? No. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, if you have any doubts regarding cross scripting, all the things we have completed within the cross scripting, but still, if you have any doubts, so you can ask me. Anyone? Nobody? You don't have any doubts? Not a single doubt? Okay. Eventually नहीं मिलता, लाइक एक्सेस से बहुत रेयर केसेस होते हैं, या तुमको चेंज करना पड़ेगा तब इवन फंक्शन यूज हो रहा हो, देन ट्राई कर सकते हो, वरना नहीं मिलता. हाँ, काफी सारे अटैक चेंज कर सकते हो, टोकन्स वगैरह चला सकते हो, एंड देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच यू कैन डू, बट यू नो so this is the thing, and if you wanted to learn about developing your own exploits, or you could say scripts for XSS, so you need to learn about JS. So you can use W3 spool. Here you'll get it. JavaScript. Wait, TypeScript, DSA. Where is JavaScript? Node.js, yeah, a framework, jQuery, same, React, same. Oh, over here, yeah, JavaScript. So you just need to learn about output, syntax, variables, type, let, const, operators, and functions, object, events, strings, array, if else condition, switch, loop, break, continue. Yeah, that's it. And if you wanted to know further, like if you wanted to learn further, then you can go ahead. There are a lot of things which you can utilize. Okay, but is there something else? You can to know, yeah, learn about Ajax also. Okay, it helps you to crawl sensitive data, just like XML, HTTP, request. Okay, you need to learn about these three. Then, then JSON, no, I don't think so. Examples, no. Yeah, that's it. Then try to, imagine what do you want to exploit, like what are your intention once you find out the excesses. So there are something which you need to perform. Let me show you one more example of changing the content of the application. Yeah, so learning कर सकते हो like programming languages. हाँ, all language, like most of the language you would say कि सारी ही. हाँ, okay. So let's say we are trying to change some content of this website. Okay, and let's say, and we wanted to type, wait, so first you view a source code and get a ID as a result, some sort of ID, not this one, ID from, mm, there is no ID. Okay, perform search, fine. Okay, let's say, okay, mm, see, mm, let's say if you're not able to get the ID, so let's try to, grep out the tag. You can also use it any tag, uh, let's say H1. Okay, let's try to get, and if you see that image src or equals to document dot element element by id or by you could say tag. Let's assume tag this time h1 dot inner html equals to tag. Okay, so if I type search, what happened? There is something issue. Get element by tag inner to
सही
have
एलिमेंट बाय में ई स्मॉल नहीं होता
element में
दिस एलिमेंट बाय टैग में बी
नहीं नहीं एक मिनट नहीं शायद मे भी हो सकता
बाई का बी
नहीं वेट मैं इसे ट्राई कर लेता हूँ बट आई डोंट थिंक सो ट्राई कर लेते हैं वेट अभी मालूम चल जाए अभी मालूम चल नहीं यहाँ पे वही है कैपिटल ही मैंने यूज किया है बट यहाँ पे मैंने आईडी यूज करी है बट आईडी की जगह पे हम लोग टैग भी यूज कर सकते हैं बट आई डोंट नो कि let's say h2 इसको सिंगल क्लिक पे कर दूं वेट मैंने पहले भी एग्जीक्यूट करा रखा है लेते हुए inner.html get element by id और सेम जो करा okay this is the thing tag name rather than tag name use करना हमें and this is the indexing or your an array and once तुम सर्च करोगे काम तो करना चाहिए इसको क्यों नहीं कर रहा wait get element by id tag का भी होगा क्लास नेम बाय नेम टैग नेम ठीक है oh now it got changed and as you can see this is how you can change it out okay and over here let's say tag search got right so this is the thing and also you can do the same thing within a real life website. Let's try to do it. H2, let's say what is H2? Control H2. There is no H2 within this code. Oh, yeah, we do have H2, keep whitening and something like that. And let's say what else? Let's set password. Okay. Let's say add password. Right, click search. As you can see, it got changed. Add password. And if we go to login page, login, we need to get the, okay, it's for here. And let's say hack password and oh, got it. Got it. So this is how you can, change something, and also like you can create a log page over here and send the data towards the server and so on. There are multiple things which you can perform, okay, by XSS. Let's say lead assistance. Let's try to check H3. It is H3. Let's change it to H3. Yeah, password. Okay, so this is how you can do it. So hope you got it. Yeah, we can change the content of a, let's say, web page. So you can utilize by like tag name, class name. Don't I don't think so. You get to see class name. Like you can utilize class name, but rather than using this, use ID or tag name. Okay, this is a thing. So share it with you guys. Okay. So you can go and take a reference for all these methods, how you can utilize those methods within the, XSS and create your own payload. Sorry, guys. So that's that's all for today. If you have any doubts regarding cross-site scripting or anything, so you can ask me.
और रुद्रा सर एक मिनट थोड़ा इनको ट्रांसलेट कर देना, मे बी किसी को कुछ इश्यू हो। कल की क्लास में मैं स्टार्टिंग के 10 मिनट में जो अपना एप्लीकेशन और वेब एलएमएस है वो सेटअप करवा दूंगा। एंड जिन्होंने लास्ट टाइम एनरोलमेंट नहीं किया था, जब मैंने प्राइस डाउन किया था ₹1, तो वो मैं कल सेम टाइम पे प्राइस वापस से डिक्रीज करके एंड आप लोगों का एनरोलमेंट करवा दूंगा। एंड उसके बाद में जो क्लासेज होगी वो अपने वेब एलएमएस और एप्लीकेशन पे होगी। इफ किसी के फोन में कुछ इश्यू है स्टोरेज को लेके, देन वो वेब एलएमएस से भी क्लासेज वगैरह अटेंड कर सकता है, वहां पे भी उसको कंप्लीट एक्सेस मिलेगा। एंड जो आईओएस यूजर्स है वो जो एक एप्लीकेशन मैंने सेंड किया है अभी रिसेंटली, उसमें अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक कोड डालना पड़ेगा, एंड जिस नंबर से उन्होंने वो कोड परचेज किया था वो नंबर डाल के ओटीपी डाल के वो वहां से लॉग इन कर ले। ठीक है, इफ किसी को कुछ इश्यू है, समझ में नहीं आया, तो आप रुद्रा सर से पूछ लो, वो इंग्लिश में समझा देंगे। ठीक है, मैंने ग्रुप में इन्फॉर्म कर दिया है, तो ट्राई करना सभी प्रेजेंट रहने का, क्योंकि फिर एक एक करके सभी स्टूडेंटों को सेटअप करवाना टीम के लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल काम रहेगा। तो आप तभी एक साथ आ जाओगे तो हमारे लिए थोड़ा इजी हो जाएगा। ठीक है रुद्रा सर, कुछ भी इश्यू हो तो उनसे बात कर लेना एंड मेरे को इन्फॉर्म कर देना।
Sure, sir. Okay, guys. Any of you having any doubt? Not a single doubt you're like some like all of your having. Not a single doubt why this is happening. Is it something like you are not able to grab out or something like that? Or like I'm teaching too fast or something like that, or I'm not able to teach properly. Is it?
No, all clear.
ऐसे ही बोला करो. Farooq, what about you?
Besides this topic, can I ask you something about whenever I'm
Sure,
using
sure.
this WAF na, for detecting firewall, if the firewall is of Akamai Ghost, then the tool don't show there is firewall present or not.
Akamai Ghost is one of the most powerful tool, powerful buff all across the world. So it allows you to evade the detection, or you could say hide itself from all the tools so that you can't detect it. If there is some sort of firewall. You can detect it once you try to send some malicious request. It will stop you.
Uh,
Like it will
yes,
show you some 403 or 406, so you will get
I'm
it. Like
using
there is some
DNS
sort of
checker. So DNS
firewall.
checker shows me it's Akamai Technologies, and also our Vaporizer also shows, but WAFU does not shows for some.
It is saying that
Yes,
it is at WAF group. Sorry, the analyzer shows you that it is utilizing Akamai technology. It's not Akamai CDN or firewall. Might be they are using the servers of the Akamai.
yes. They're
So
using
if you are saying
AWS
like something
servers.
related to, see, if you are saying anything related to Akamai, then consider there would be a firewall 110%.
Okay. Yeah, I just checked for W3 schools. So in WAFO, it doesn't show there is a firewall. In DNS checker, it shows the firewall is the present of Akamai technologies, Akamai host.
Yeah.
And okay, thank you. Understood.
Yeah, most of them. And what about others? Balaji, you got it? All the things. Aditi, uh,
Yeah, I got
Jyoti,
it.
Jayashri, Lokesh, Farooq, Yasin. Okay, got it. What about others? Okay, no issue. I will consider it as oh, sure, fantastic. Perfect. Okay, so I'll consider it as like no one has any doubt regarding today's class. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining today's class. अब हम मिलेंगे अगली क्लास में. Till then, keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night.
Rudra, sorry to interrupt. I want
I have ended the
yesterday's
recording.
class.
Okay.